Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
I'm Hannah Elliott.
And I'm Matt Miller. This is Hot Pursuit. Coming up on today's podcast, Volvo's biggest unveiling ever. Their new electric EX60 is out, and Hannah spoke with Volvo's president of the Americas, Luis Rezende, giving us one of the company's first interviews on their launch and why he thinks it's a game changer for the industry.
Matt is back from the Detroit Auto Show. We want to hear all about that. I need to know a big takeaway or something that surprised you.
I was shocked, to be honest, that no one plows the streets in Detroit when it snows. What? And then the other thing is, like, racing is super important in Detroit now, because the day that I arrived, GM was making some big announcements about its Formula One entry. Sure. And then the next day, I sat down with Bill Ford, for example, and he was like, hey, I heard GM was talking smack about us. At least we're making our own motors, They're using Ferraris.
Wow. I love it.
And
trash talk.
Yeah, trash talk. And, I got to talk to Max Verstappen. He is...
Tell us.
He's officially the biggest letdown I've ever had in an interview. Probably the worst interview that I've ever had that I've been excited for. Like, I thought
I'm sorry.
I was going to be able to chill and have fun with him and, like, dig into racing. And he had that amazing YouTube video with Chris Harris where I thought, wow, Max has really grown up and he's come out as a person and he's, like, socially capable. And then when I sat down with him, I mean, maybe he just didn't have, and not just maybe, he definitely had no interest in talking to me.
He doesn't like press in general.
No, he wanted.
I don't think it's personal.
He wanted to get up and leave as soon as he sat down. So,
did you try to, get him to?
I did my best, and I'm usually I pride myself on that skill, but
yes.
I could not open him up.
He might have missed breakfast that morning.
On the other hand, it was awesome to talk to Jim Farley.
I mean, Jim is such a great person to talk to.
Yeah, and like their commitment to racing is just. I feel like Jim Farley is the Ford Racing CEO, and he has the car maker as his side gig.
Did he talk about Dakar at all? Didn't he?
Yes,
go to
he
Dakar?
did.
What did he? So, what did he say?
So he had just come back from Dakar. He was out there watching the race, but also driving trucks in the dunes, and also camping out. And they have their amazing off-road supercar. Right now, that's just for, professional teams or privateers. And also some privateer team was running a Bronco Raptor in Dakar stock.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So there's that. And it's definitely my new bucket list race event. I have got to go to Dakar.
Also you should come to King of the Hammers.
True. I want to do all the stuff. But Dakar is on the top of my list.
That is yes.
After Le Mans, Le Mans was the best racing experience, four-wheel racing experience I've ever had. And so now, Dakar is...
That was so... Maybe we should, push for, a hot pursuit from Dakar.
I am very much into that.
That'd be very cool.
And, I feel like Ford will be closer to getting out their off-road supercar for the...
Totally.
For the very, very, very wealthy masses.
We know it's coming.
And so there could be some pegs to hang that on. But it was cool. I talked to not only Bill Ford, but his son Will, who is running the racing division, at least the marketing aspect of it. Dax Shepard was there.
Did you talk to Dax?
No, I didn't.
Did you see him?
Yeah, I saw him, but
How'd he look?
Amazing.
Is he taller than you?
I think we're about the same height. He may be an inch taller than me.
Okay.
6'3", 6'4" would be my guess. He's jacked. Absolutely jacked. He's been hitting the gym with best friend Aaron Weekly, on a daily basis.
Wow. Interesting.
So Kristen must love that. I would love it, But I was too shy.
No, that's impossible, Matt.
I don't like to fanboy on people. It's backfired in the past.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell has taken out a restraining order against me.
No.
And Dr. Dre actually asked someone to have me leave the green room once.
Are you kidding me?
No. I lose it a little bit.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, have you ever... do you regret not going up to Dax?
No, because
are you glad you restrained yourself?
I didn't want to ruin. I have a great relationship with him.
Never meet your heroes.
We sometimes exchange tweets, on Twitter.
Yeah, parasocial.
And also, to me, it's a little weird that he's fronting for Ford because I feel like he's totally a GM guy.
Yeah.
Right? The vehicles, I know he has a Mustang, but
money talks.
But he does love those Chevy trucks. And so anyway, it was a fantastic trip. And by the way, I got to see the Mustang Dark Horse SC. So they've taken a supercharger and slapped it on the 5.2 liter V8. It looks pretty badass. I still prefer the S197 generation.
Yes.
So the 2000 for me 2010 to 2014, the sort of facelift of those. But
okay, I'm looking at it.
And you can't get it with a stick. So for me, all these supercars have gotten to a point where you used to be able to get them with a stick. Like Porsche has from the Carrera GT to the 918, right? And the Ford GT, the 2005, 2006 one, you could get that with a stick, and it's an incredibly powerful motor. And then the V6 GT that they did to win Le Mans, obviously that can't be gotten with 3 pedals. I just wonder why they move away from that, because clearly the more money a buyer is willing to spend, the higher the take rate on manual transmissions. Like we've talked about a million times with the 911, at the base, everybody wants the PDK. When you go to the GT3 level or some special edition, they only want to buy a stick. So if Ford is making these $300,000-$400,000 cars, why don't they say we're not doing it with a DCT? It's only coming with a manual transmission. I don't know. Anyway.
I know we talk about this quite a lot, and I feel that the conversation is drifting more and more away from sticks, for automakers. I don't. Yes, there are a couple instances where they'll throw one in, but I don't know. You could be on your deathbed, Matt, smoking a doobie. Smoking. No, I'm just saying smoking. I'm not endorsing anything. And, saying, they didn't have a stick by your last dying breath. I can see it.
I wonder if, on old, pre-war cars, there's that controller that, retards the spark or whatever, On
old pre-war
cars?
Yes.
I wonder if when that thing went out, people were like, I want to be able to control the spark.
I'm sure. I'm sure. This is the state of humankind. Yes. But we should talk about Volvo, really. Not to change the subject, but to change the subject. We should talk about Volvo because on the complete other end of the spectrum, they just unveiled a new electric car, the EX60. And we had their president of the Americas, Luis Rezende, come and talk to us. Actually, one of the first interviews about the launch and why they're moving toward EVs and further away from fuel retardant switches.
When I was in Detroit.
Yes.
You were in China.
Yeah, I wish. We need to get to China, Matt.
That was a
seriously.
Volvo joke because they're owned by Geely, the Chinese, and yeah.
Anyway, that's coming up.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Did you know that I've grown up with an all Volvo family essentially?
I think you've mentioned that. Is that that's from your mom?
Yeah. So, exactly. When my dad was a single man, he had cool cars. He had a Mustang, a 60s Mustang, and then he had Audis during the sort of Quattro phase. And then, but when he and my mom got married, we got a 240. And then we got another 240. And then we got, what was it, a 740. And then we got the 850.
Very loyal.
And continued Volvo. And my mom just most recently, 50 years later, has got a new, I think, XC60. So it's constant in my family.
Is she interested at all in the electric Volvos that are coming? Is she considering those? Or
I don't think. I always suggest this or that electric car for her because she is the type, she's super left wing, cares about the environment kind of person. But more important to her is range, and she drives from between Columbus and New York City on a at least monthly basis, 10, 12, 15 times a year. So
The reason I ask is because this EX60 has a range of over 500 miles, which
wow,
is
so
kind of insane.
Yeah, almost the entire trip.
Completely. And it's apparently it's priced similarly to the XC60. So I think, to your point, Volvo is trying to sort of work its way into those types of customers that are really loyal to the brand, that maybe if we alleviate some of the range anxiety, they can make some inroads. So now let's listen to my interview with the Volvo president of the Americas, Luis Rezende, as he walks us through kind of what this new car means for Volvo, where is it going, and what do Volvo customers really want. Luis, thank you so much for joining us. This is a really exciting time for Volvo. And I just would love to hear from you. Of course, we're here to talk about your new car debut. What can you tell us about the EX60 and really why it is so significant for Volvo in this moment?
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here and talk to you. So this is a very exciting moment for Volvo, and especially for me in this new role. So I've been in this role since May 2025, heading of Americas and especially president of Volvo Car US. A lot of challenges ahead, and when we have a new car, it always helps, right? So
Yeah.
this is comes in a very good moment. It's a launch of the car now in January. So we have it's called a EX60. So it's gonna be our EV that is in the biggest segment that we have globally, but also in US. So we are very excited about it. It's a new platform. It's a software-defined vehicle. We have so many attributes to this car to say that will be a very, very competitive model, if not saying will be one of the best in the market.
I love that. Okay, so many questions, but you mentioned a software-defined vehicle, and I know that this particular car uses some great new technology, Gemini and AI-derived technology. Can you just explain to us, I think maybe a lot of our listeners, like myself, AI is relatively new. What do you mean by software-defined, and what do you mean maybe by AI-defined vehicle?
Yeah, a software-defined vehicle means that we have like a car computer that is designed internally from Volvo. So instead of having a lot of computers around, we have a one, which brings us in terms of, let's talk about what is the benefit for the consumers, right? Otherwise, we're going to be in the technology part too much.
Yeah.
So the benefit for the consumer is that first, the car can be updated over the years. So it's not something that we can, you buy it, it's analogic, and then you get what you get. So,
sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna have easily over-the-air updates in the car. So the software will be updated as we have today in the EX90 as well. But the software will be updated from time to time, which gives a lot of new features for the consumer. Imagine this. It's a technology or solution that we are defining that we needed to predict what consumers want, and they don't know what they really want now. Imagine in 4 years, but the car will be ready and prepared for that. So this is fantastic. It changed how we do make evaluation of a car, a used car model, and etc. So it's a new era. I think Volvo, we are very pleased that we are one of the legacy brands. If we talk about legacy brands like us with almost 100 years, 70 years in US, it's one of those that can really say that we have this car. So it's the second car in this mode. The EX90 was the first. EX60 is the second in the line. But yeah, so for the consumers, I mean, what is the benefit? So they have a better car over the years. The car will be updated over the air, so they don't need to go to a store or etc. Like your iOS. You have some other benefits like maintenance of a car will be much lower because we have less parts as we have this one core computer. So many benefits. I mean, AI. You touched the point of AI. So yes, we're gonna have a Google Gemini in this car, which it will be brilliant. I can give you examples. Like for me, coming into US, leaving US, new city, new places, I can have a conversation with Google in a very nice way. Show
A
me what is
humanistic way.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
what is this place that I'm seeing? I mean, what can you, because they're going to be able to see through our cameras. So Google will use our cameras to scan what is around. And this helps a lot. I was driving with my wife and kids in Boston another month. And then we were just looking places that was fantastic. And then we
Oh,
said, oh, what is this looks like? And then we need to do a Google search was not as easy
yeah.
as if it was if the car could help. So I think all technology must mean meaningful for
Yes.
the consumers, and I think this one it is.
Well, that's something that we've talked about a lot. The idea that I don't get the sense from, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't get the sense that people want technology just for technology's sake. They want technology that is practical, that benefits and complements their life, and that doesn't get in the way of their life. Is that also what you're seeing with your consumers?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Yeah.
in Volvo, we don't develop the technology for the sake of technology. We develop this because we believe it's better for the consumer, and that's why we are partnering with Google Gemini in that sense, because we see that there are so many things that can help. Also, if you look into other technology aspects that consumers they don't see, but they will understand it's getting better, is the ability of the car to learn. So
Okay.
the car will be able to scan the area in terms of safety. The car will be able to have processing so much faster
Is
the
this
data that they are collecting, and they're gonna learn, and it's gonna be better over the time. So
yes.
imagine how many users using the car across the globe. How is the ability of this car to learn and then once again coming back and protect our consumers going forward? So that is something that we see as a technology working the benefit of the consumer.
And that is part of sort of the automotive connectivity, right? That Volvo is developing. Is that part of the Snapdragon partnership that you have
With
done with Qualcomm as
yes,
well?
Snapdragon
Yes.
with Qualcomm. We have Gemini with Google. We have
Wow.
NVIDIA, and all of this. We have a new name, which is Huygen Core.
Yes.
That is
I wanted to
yeah,
ask you about that because this seems like the first time that Volvo has marketed or come out publicly with this internal name, right?
it is.
That you what is the thinking behind it? And can you say that word again so we all know how to pronounce it?
Yeah, Huygen Core.
Yeah.
It's what we have decided to name because as we said, it's a fantastic project that we were able to put together, software defined vehicle together with Google, together with NVIDIA processing data. So it's so many things, and Qualcomm. So it's so many things that I think it deserves a name. Normally in Volvo, we are uh, a little bit more, let's say, shy, not humble. But now I think we need to come and really outsell and outmarket what we are doing great, and this is
Yes.
great. And
Yeah.
again, going into the direction of our DNA, that is safety, that is Scandinavian design. So everything goes inside, not losing our heritage that we have in Volvo.
That's Volvo President of the Americas, Luis Rezende. More of our conversation after this break, including how Volvo is using AI to work toward a goal of zero auto-related deaths in its cars. I'm Hannah Elliott, and you're listening to Hot Pursuit. Welcome back to Hot Pursuit with Matt Miller. I'm Hannah Elliott.
We're going to dig in deeper to your Volvo president interview, but can we first talk about the piece you wrote on AI?
Yes.
Because it really struck a nerve with me, and I want to get first your take on what you were driving and how AI it was, and what your reaction or what your takeaway is.
How AI it was is the question that we are all learning. This was a drive in the new Mercedes-Benz CLA. This is their new entry-level sedan. This was a totally electric car. They are coming out with a hybrid version in the middle of the year. But the CLA starts at $47,250, which I think is a very, very good value. Mercedes is trying to see if they can.
How much again?
$47,250.
That's how much it starts for.
47 grand. Yep.
All electric.
All electric. And this is Mercedes trying to eat some of Tesla's pie. So wait, does that sound bad?
Some of Tesla's lunch.
This is Mercedes trying to break into some of Tesla's market share with offering a totally electric, rather affordable sedan. I really liked it. The thing that I was really evaluating when I drove this car in San Francisco was the new Drive Assist Pro system that is available through a subscription. You can subscribe to it. It downloads over the air. And basically, this is like the most advanced AI driving system you can buy, period. Mercedes developed it with NVIDIA, and I really liked it. NVIDIA, of course, develops driving programs for a host of automakers, including like Toyota and Volvo and Rivian. This is an end-to-end stack, completely end-to-end stack developed for Mercedes that uses a combination of cameras and radars and ultrasonic sensors to basically drive the car. You basically put in a destination and the car drives itself there.
Wait, you pull out of the driveway and then it goes, or like
it can pull out of some driveways. I would say this is not perfect. Like some valet situations are a little bit tricky, and it can't quite navigate that yet. But I would say the progress here is that this system seems more human-like in that it will roll through yellow lights. And it knows when it can turn right on red and when it cannot turn right on red. You know, sometimes that's a difference. This system will nudge out in a lane to like avoid a big rain puddle. And it will automatically nudge out to avoid, like if a van is parked, double parked and unloading something, it will adjust to that without canceling the whole navigation, which was kind of great. And it will also allow you to, if you do want to adjust, you can make adjustments on the steering wheel and it will still continue driving the route. It's not like
it doesn't drop out.
It doesn't, exactly. So these are all very subtle advances, but they are really advances, and altogether they add up to making it feel pretty fun, really. I really liked it.
I mean, do you have to really still be paying attention, or can you like read the paper?
You can't read the paper. You still have to pay attention. It is monitoring whether you're looking straight ahead and whether your eyes are awake. You don't have to touch the steering wheel, but somehow the car does monitor you being alert.
Right. You can't nap.
You can't nap. That would be like level 3 and beyond, really. That is where the threshold that we cross over into basically the automaker assumes responsibility for the car rather than the driver. At this point, you, the driver, are still ultimately responsible for if anything happens. So that's the big, basically, moonshot leap. Once we get to level 3, which we're not there yet, then the automaker takes responsibility if there's any incident.
So, but I mean, it's really clear that we're getting there, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
and
we're getting there.
So I wonder, for someone, especially like you, who loves to drive, and you love, an engaging experience where you do have to pay extra close attention, right? Some of the cars that you love to drive are a little dangerous if you're not. But also someone like you who lives in LA and spends a lot of time in traffic. What do you think about self-driving?
I loved it, and I was surprised that I loved it, but I really did, because here's the thing. Commuting isn't driving for me. Like sitting in traffic on Sunset Boulevard for an hour while I try to get to work in the morning is not fun driving. Driving down Sunset early morning or late at night when you have the amazing iconic views and the lights and an open road in front of you, that's driving. That's what I love. But I am very happy to like text on my phone and look at Instagram while I'm sitting in traffic and letting the car just do the 5 to 10 to 15 mile per hour driving that needs to be done. I I think we can have both. Why can't we have both and? Why can't we have some amazing driving cars? Give them a manual gearbox, give them internal combustion engines, give them whatever you want. And also, we're going to have hybrids for some jobs, and we're going to have EVs, and we're going to have some self-driving cars. I'm a big fan of Waymo. I think Waymo's the future. This car, the CLA with the MB Drive Assist Pro, felt the closest to Waymo that I've felt in a private vehicle. So if anyone has driven in a Waymo or even a Zoox, which is coming up, this car felt pretty similar to that, which was awesome.
Zoox?
Yeah, Zoox. It's another driving platform. They're testing in like San Francisco, and I've seen them in LA. They're testing it. I don't think they're fully public. But that's another one, and I do think, especially in urban centers, this is the future, which is exciting.
So I agree. And actually, I was reading your story a couple of days ago, and I made some notes.
Oh, tell me.
I wrote a little note to myself because I was moved by it in a way. So I think I agree. Self-driving cars are awesome. And I think in the truest sense of the word, meaning like it's awe-inspiring to witness and to feel the transition from what we know, and what even today kids know. Like, this is the last generation that will witness this kind of transition, that understands, that has a foot in both worlds.
Yes.
And I think, like, regardless of your take on the technology, eventually what it means for society, like your kids, like no one's going to want to drive anymore. Maybe you think that. I think everyone should stop and experience the joy of living through this insane transition. And as I was reading your story, I had just read Road and Track had a piece about like the U.S. highway system, and they were saying it was one of the biggest, most important turning points in like ground transportation. You've got the invention of the combustion engine, whenever that was, and then like Henry Ford's mass production.
Assembly line. Yes.
And then like the highway system, which at the time was the biggest construction project that mankind had ever, attempted, and we've now accomplished. And so National Geographic, when they were writing about the highway system in the 60s, said Americans are living in the midst of a miracle. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with self-driving as well. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's so cool. And then for the enthusiasts out there, I think I agree with you that commuting is not the same as driving, but they get kind of blurred. And some people don't care about the cars that much because they are only commuting. But I think if you separate these two activities well enough, and self-driving will do that, then the self-driving sort of technology will spur more people to explore enthusiast driving as a hobby or a pastime. And like for me, if I can self-drive commute to work, then sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I want to go just drive to drive. Okay, I do that all the time anyway, but I'll do it more and with more intentionally, if you know what I mean. So
yes,
I think it's really, really cool.
I mean, we're not all riding horses out there like everybody used to in the Wild West, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a wonderful, vibrant community of equestrians and enthusiasts and people who love them.
I think that I hear that analogy a lot, and it makes obviously good sense. But it's much more difficult to keep a horse than it is to keep a car. Even if we move to a future where everybody uses Waymos, and then probably wealthy people will have their own Waymos,
Sure.
Even maybe middle class people will aspire to, and they'll all have their own kind of Waymos. And we've got into the commoditized vehicle world already, where like a Model Y is just like this uninspiring hunk of thing that's built to commute you to work and back and cost $30,000. But people will still be able to have cars to drive and enjoy, because you still have, at least a lot of people still have a house with a garage attached to it, and you don't have to feed your car every day.
That's true.
You don't have to pet it or groom it. You can leave it in the garage for an extended number of days or weeks, and it's still going to work just as well when you get it out. So I think it'll be easier for people to hold on to in real, what do you call the opposite of self-driving cars? Like manual driving
human-driven vehicles.
Yeah. So anyway, I just think it's a really cool thing that we're watching, that we're witnessing, and I also don't think it's going to make enthusiast driving less exciting. In fact, I think it'll make it more.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And I do want to say I have huge reservations about some uses of AI. I'm not a complete fan of every use of AI. I think it could be really dangerous and really harmful for a lot of aspects of humanity.
It's definitely going to be the end of humanity.
Yeah, and sure. I also think lots of segments in this huge AI boom that we're seeing right now they're not real. They're not real. They're speculative, and I think those will eventually fall away. But I do think the AI applications in the automotive industry are real, and we're already seeing that.
Well, hopefully also in pharma, right? Yeah. And education. And anyway, I thought it was a great story.
Oh, so thanks.
Nice job on that one.
Fun to do.
Hopefully we get a lot of feedback. We've gotten some pretty good viewer mail. Have you seen?
Should we do some viewer mail?
Well,
maybe at the end? We love hearing from you guys. I
got such an inspiring message from this guy, Hardy. I won't say his whole name, but I was in the middle of my live television program. So my day job is I have to anchor a show on cable TV about financial news. And I love it. But when I got this message from this dude, I was so inspired that I had to immediately answer, even as I was interviewing Liz Ann Saunders, the chief market strategist for.
Oh God. Don't tell her that.
No, I won't. But too late if she listens. And she loves cars. She'll
get it.
She has a very cool chariot. But I just had to write back to this guy because he's in such an, I think, enviable position that I dream about all the time. He's reached his retirement. He's been frugal, I guess, with his money, and he's built a nest egg that he can, spend the rest of his silver and golden years, enjoying. And he is ready to get like a fun sports car toy, and he's got an amazing selection from which to choose.
Yes.
And I just thought that's so great, dude. He's living the effing dream,
Yeah, and what came through for me with this email from Hardy is that he's doing it for himself. He doesn't want it. He doesn't need to impress anyone. He's already done all the things. He just wants something that he can truly enjoy. And he does list a couple options. We're talking about something that might be $100,000 or less.
Right.
And he's considering a Golf R, a BMW M240i, and an Audi RS3. Are there others that you think should go on that list, Matt?
I told him, so I think the BMW is the killer choice of those. Having said that, I haven't driven a new Golf R or a new Audi RS3. I've driven previous versions of those cars. But I spent some time in the BMW M240, but I said, look, you should cast a little bit of a wider web. And for me, since he's going in this direction, I would look at other BMWs. So the M2, I was looking for him on Auto Trader and Car Gurus, and you can find last year or 2 years old M2 with a stick and only a few thousand miles for $60,000. That's a killer.
That's awesome.
That car is a rocket. It is BMWs, that's the one I would like to have probably the most right now. Except for, I can't stop thinking about the Z4 that I drove last summer, which is their drop top roadster.
I was wondering if that was going to come up.
It also comes with a stick, and it's not a rocket, but it's such an honest, what's the woke word now when you want to be your true self?
Authentic?
It's such an authentic automotive experience that I just cannot get it out of my head. And I love the way it looks, and I love the top down. And so I told him, consider those two other vehicles. But what a great position this guy is in.
I love it. And yeah, I just like that he's like, this isn't about anything other than he just wants something fun. And he mentions too, driving a slow car fast. That's kind of the best.
And he has an incredible experience because he's a former motorcycle racer / rider. And so he knows, as I do, that you don't always want the, Kawasaki H2. It doesn't make any sense to have even like the Ducati V4 on the street. Like you're going to have just as much fun on a, like a Triumph T120 or something. Anyways, we got a lot of good messages, but I think that was the best one. People really loved our Porsche episode. Have you noticed that?
Yes. I also saw that email from Giles. Did you see that? About the 2006 Carrera C4S?
Yes. A lot of people agreed with me. I don't want to get too deep into the 911 thing.
No, we can't. We have to keep moving forward.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. In fact, let's take a break and then come back and listen to the rest of your interview with the U.S. head of Volvo. Shall we?
Let's do it.
This is Hot Pursuit.
Welcome back to Hot Pursuit. I'm Hannah Elliott, along with Matt Miller.
More of Hannah's conversation now with Volvo President of the Americas, Luis Rezende.
What are the considerations that Volvo is taking around safety? And we ask knowing that so many consumers love Volvo because of your safety track record. It's really considered such a safe brand that has really been sort of your calling card in a way. What are the concerns and how are you addressing that, but also educating people about the safety of these new technologies in the cars?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, we are so proud of our safety. I mean, we have so many examples by not the seat belt, I think.
I was just going to say the seat belts
is implemented.
Iconic.
Yes, and we're able to really improve the seat belt technology on the EX60. Now it's going to be adjustable, so it's different if we sit the car, a man, woman, depending on the size, age, weight. So it varies. And I think this is doing the research that we were doing. We understand that could be better. And this is why we are launching in this car a new adjustable seat belt.
Cool.
Which is going to be, it's a fantastic thing. It's going to protect even more. So we need to understand that the technology itself, it's good, but it needs to interact with human and with a different age. So also and the background. So we're gonna have people that comes from different generations that needs to interact with that, and people that are much more technology that will be a little bit more easy to understand. But putting all aspects and also understanding that it's not all Volvos in the roads. So we have a different type of vehicles and technology in the road. So we have all of these in consideration when we develop our cars to make sure that we protect ourselves, the people that are inside, but also outside. So safety will remains our main. It's our DNA, as I said, and also I would say we don't develop cars to pass through the tests. I mean, we develop cars to face real scenarios in the consumer's life, which means that our basics, our standards for Volvo standards to crash test our cars are much higher than I would say what is implicitly today in the tests that we see across the globe. So which makes us very comfortable about it, but it seems that we still have a vision that should be zero death. This is a vision that we have with us, and we work very hard to achieve this one day.
How does implementing AI, and as we move more and more into autonomous, self-driving cars, does the introduction of that technology, the autonomous driving technology, potentially help you get closer to that goal of zero deaths?
There are some aspects of it that the car will be much faster reacting on the versus a human, like the ability of car to predict an accident based on the all the accidents that the car learned before will be very good. But I would say still need a human. I mean, I'm a big fan of AI, but I'm a big fan of human as well. So I believe the human looking to this will not be replaced. I mean, we need to have humans to make the right interpretation of the things. That needs to be there. We were in a safety center conversation with the head of safety center in Volvo also, and when we asked these to her, she said it accelerates a lot. The ability of us processing data, it's much faster than. However, we still have the experts looks in order to make sure that the combination of everything goes into this direction. So it's that's to me is still very, very valid point. And again, with all the technology that evolves, if you look into previous eras, we had the internet that was, let's say, before AI was internet. Before internet was logistics, the big thing that you could differentiate yourself. And with all of that, there was always a question about the AI, if it's going to replace the human,
Sure.
if the human
The
will be
robots
not
are taking over.
exactly, and did not happen because we need humans to think about the robotics. We need humans to think about the next part of it and to execute in a nice way. So yes, some of the job can be done by the AI, but I still believe the driver or the consumers, it plays a very, very important role, especially on the judgment.
I know you're overseeing the Americas. What can you tell us about the market that you see for Volvo going into 2026, especially in light of the fact that EV sales they're still growing, but they're not maybe growing as quickly as some people anticipated. What do you see as the challenges and the opportunities for Volvo in the Americas?
Good. Yeah, I think we see EVs. You make a right comment. I mean, before people, I would say 2 years ago, people were saying that 50% of the market in 2030 will be EVs in US. This is we don't see this anymore based on our research, but it's still growing. That's for sure. The total market will not grow, but the EV market will grow, and especially because not only Volvo but the other brands, they are putting together nice EVs and in the road. And I think consumers starts also to understand that not only based on incentives, but based on the use of the car, they learn more. So they start to see that, okay, this is for me, maybe not the full garage of EVs, but maybe one car can work in that way or not. When you come with the new launch that we have, EX60, if you look into this car can goes 400 miles, this removes a lot of barriers, a lot of barriers. So this is, and it can fast charge like in 10 minutes. I don't know in miles, I know in kilometers, but it can charge.
We can convert it.
Yeah, so it's 400 or so. So it's quite it's how I would say you're gonna finish your journey, and you need to stop to have a coffee anyway, and then in 10 minutes you're gonna have so much miles that you're gonna be in a good position to continue anyway if you need to stop. So that is so unique, and the pricing point of the car will be also in a very competitive way. We are not launching the pricing in Americas yet.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, I can. No, it's not coming now. We're gonna announce it in April. But what I can say is that this is it's gonna be a very competitive, because this is one of the key points of the EVs. But so all in all, I think we're gonna be in a very good position because we're gonna serve our customers what they want. So US, I see that is a different market. I mean, we can say like one US market, but When you look into a perspective of a country, we can also say that it's a 50 countries easily. I mean, I was managing 58 countries before
Oh boy.
with all across the
Yes.
globe, and I can say here in US we have like 50 countries in one because all states they are different. If you look into Texas, if you look how they buy cars in Miami or New York or California, they are totally different. I think we're gonna serve well. So we're gonna have electric vehicles in a very competitive price for those that want. We're gonna have PHEVs that is we believe it's a transition between an EV. The consumers they need this bridge, and we have consumers that they say no, this is not for me. I'm fine with combustion car, and that's fine. They're gonna be protected. They're gonna be in a very nice car, in a Volvo premium model. So that is how we are approaching US at this moment, and I believe we have the right things to succeed in this market for sure.
Have you determined how long you will maintain that mix of powertrains? I mean, can you indefinitely continue to offer that option?
Who's going to dictate this is the consumer. So I think as soon as we have a very important market like US, and we see consumers that want to stay into this direction, I think we're going to produce. One thing that is we need to take into consideration is that technology is evolving. So the hybrid cars that we see today will be completely different hybrid cars in the end of this decade. So the question will be, do we still need to have a combustion engine car based on a very efficient hybrid that can go even further in terms of miles and charging and all aspects in a cost that is the same cost of a nice vehicle? So that's, I think, is going to be the big question that needs to be answered in the decade. But for sure, I will have EVs, I will have a PHEVs, and if the consumer still wants MHEVs or HEVs, this is I'm going to bring it to US. So one of the aspects that is coming that is important to say is that we are reinforcing our production in Charleston. So we have a plant in South Carolina today that we produced our EX90, that is an EV. Next year, 27, we're going to start the production also of EX60, the current car that we have with a facelift. In the two models, it's going to be MHEV and PHEV in this car. And also, we're going to have in 29 a totally new model, a new SUV that is going to be a hybrid. And this totally new, with this big portfolio that I'm bringing, these will represent around 70% of my sales in US.
Wow.
So I do expect to grow around 60%. So from 120,000 cars to 200,000 cars in 2030. And 70% of this will come from my plant, locally produced.
Wow.
So yes, it's a big shift. Today I import 95% of my cars from Europe. So it's a big shift. It's a big commitment with the country.
What is your biggest market in the US?
California, the market it is, but what I do sell more is tri-state, New York.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm in New York right now, so I do like to hear that, but I live in California at the moment, so I can't say I'm surprised. Yeah. And it does seem like you are working hard at Volvo to address what seem like the two big barriers for people to buy an EV, which is range anxiety and the price premium.
Exactly.
Is that accurate? And it seems like this car is specifically targeted to answer those two questions.
Precisely, yes. So those are the big pain points for adoption of the EV. So having this car an average mileage of 400 miles, that is going to be a very it's a very good number. Today we have around 300, right, for ourselves and competitors. So I think it's going to be a big benchmark. In that aspect. Also, when you talk about a fast charge, if in US it's not difficult to find big fast chargers, I mean 400 kilowatts or 350. So with that, I think it's going to be also a very key point and valid point. it's a car that comes with NACS, so it's going to be adapted for a lot of chargers in the road. So it should be really, really no barrier on that. We don't need an adapter. It comes with the car. And pricing. I mean, we know we cannot price like entry level MHEVs, mid level PHEVs, and up level EVs. That's gone. I mean, that was one day a conversation. That's not true anymore. So we needed to have a EV in a very pricing point with the PHEVs at least. So that is with that addressing these three aspects and with our safety heritage in the car, with all the technology that we are bringing to that. So I think it's going to be a very, very competitive product.
Well, Luis Rezende, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you all the best on this launch. We look forward to getting out on the road and driving.
Thank you.
Our thanks to Volvo President of the Americas, Luis Rezende. Matt, are we driving the same car right now?
We are. We're both driving, as far as I know, the same car. I went to Miami yesterday, and when I came home, there was an Aston Martin DBX S sitting in my driveway. Is that what you're driving as well?
A life. Yes. I have a green one.
Mine
Podium
is
green.
I think it's a white-ish, and I think they're beautiful, and I have since they first came out, but I'm so focused on the interior and what they've done with the car that I didn't look at the outside too much. Also, I got home and it was dark, and when I got in the car to drive to work this morning, it was also dark.
Yes, this is not our full take on the DBX. This is our first blush with it. We each have the car, it's an SUV, for a week. So we're both going to be trying it out.
I can say like my initial, I've only driven it to work. And fortunately for me, I come to work very early in the morning, so there's not a lot of traffic. I can fly to work essentially, and this is the car in which to do that. It is like 10 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
Knowing that there could be ice out there, but for me, this is going to be extra exciting because my neighbor Eric, he just got a new Cayenne GTS.
Oh.
And I feel like the Cayenne is the sports SUV that you have to beat in this segment,
Well, I would say it's the Urus, to be honest.
The what? Oh, the Urus.
Lamborghini.
I see.
Yeah.
But
fair. Tomato. There's our debate.
I mean,
I'd
those
say the
two have the
Lambo's the one
same
to
motor, right? And not the GTS, but the turbo. That's the Urus. I just think, okay, that's a fair point. I hadn't really thought about that. Because this is what I was thinking when I was driving the DBX in, is like, Eric got this Cayenne. It's so sweet, and it drives so well, and the interior's done perfectly, and the tech obviously works. It's a Porsche, so maybe I'm biased, but I feel like it's not going to break. But that thing didn't cost $200,000. In fact, I don't know how much he paid for it, but I think closer to $150,000. This DBX-S retails for $422,200 with all the options.
That's with the options. The starting price is in the 260s.
But that's just...
Let me say this before we dive into it,
Yes.
and this is just a first blush. I actually think the DBX looks way better than the Cayenne.
Agreed.
Like way... And again, we're not going to get into driving because we each haven't driven it much. I don't know what Cayenne, what the specs are off the top of my head, but this is a V8, 717 horsepower, twin turbo, 4-liter engine.
It stomps the Cayenne GTS.
And it looks killer.
But I don't know if it's 3 times as beautiful and better driving speed. I don't know. So I haven't spent a lot of time with this car. I'm really looking forward to it because I think Aston Martin has absolutely nailed the execution, at least as far as I can tell as of today. Like for example, the interior, everything, nothing looks cheap. Nothing looks like it was an afterthought. It all looks like it was done very intentionally with the highest technology, the highest production quality, and the forefront of, like, the CarPlay that they have isn't available, I don't think, in any other vehicle. So Anyway, we'll talk about it more.
You will talk about it. Also, I have to shout out, mine came with 23-inch magnesium wheels in satin titanium gray. Those wheels alone cost $21,600. So that's why we're going from MSRP of $262 and ending up at a final price with upgrades. I'm at $409. Sounds like yours was a little bit more than mine.
Yeah, I mean, mine, for example, has 2 separate exterior packs that total $31,000.
Yep.
In extras. If I'm
and
just
the exterior packs are like carbon fiber detailing.
Yeah. So it's like we add a lightweight material on top of, if they didn't have it, it would be even lighter.
Right.
The paint is like $14,000. The pinstripe is $15,000. The stereo is an extra $12,000. So yeah, they loaded it up with options, and I'm glad they did because I'm
totally
going to enjoy trying it. But
we love options.
So I guess we'll tell you more about this next week.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear.
And we have Steve Serio next week.
And we have Steve Serio for a collecting special. Oh, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention this amazing sale at Mecum where so many cars set records, but the real headliner was this Ferrari GTO, which sold for over $38 million. That's huge. It's a white Ferrari, not numbers matching engine even. So we have to talk about that. But how
many? There aren't many GTOs.
There are like 26.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, it's a very rare club.
It's funny. I think Eddie Alterman was talking about how he had gone to Pebble in 2011 and they managed to wrangle together like 20 GTOs.
Wow.
And they put them all next to each other on the Concours. And it was like he was so excited to see the first one. And then when he walked down the line, by the end, he was bored of it.
Yeah, I know. That's really bad when that happens. It's like, where can you go from here?
Yeah, so we'll dig into the GTO, the Ferrari auction, the Mecum auctions that everyone was talking about with Steve.
Scottsdale auctions are this weekend, so we can talk about results from those.
We'll talk about
and
that.
Retromobile.
Yeah.
So much going on.
There's so much. And we're going to bring it all to you right here on Hot Pursuit.
That does it for this week's show. Remember to follow and subscribe to Hot Pursuit on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen. You can also send us your comments. Email us at hotpursuit@bloomberg.net.
And check out Hannah's columns and stories on Bloomberg.com and the Bloomberg Business app. Go there for car reviews, events, and stories that you won't find anywhere else, including her piece on AI. Find it all at Bloomberg.com/pursuits/autos. I'm Matt Miller.
And I'm Hannah Elliott. We'll be back in your podcast feed again next week.